Heading to Las Vegas to catch the action at Allegiant Stadium? Skip the traffic and the sky-high room rates of the Strip. Book your stay at the South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa. The South Point is located just 7 miles away from the stadium, and it's a quick trip up the freeway, making it an affordable rideshare or taxi ride. And don't worry about getting here when you land in Vegas. We offer a convenient airport shuttle to get your getaway off to a stress-free start. Shuttles are also available on Raider game days for a small fee. So whether you're rooting for your team or seeing your favorite band in concert at Allegiant Stadium, South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa is your ticket to all the excitement.
South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
Are you ready to lock in your bets and cash in on the games this weekend? Get weekly football winners from Alex White, Chris Andrews, and Vinny Malulo.
I did take the dog 3.5.
I'm going to stay with the Colts here. That's definitely going to be one of my plays.
If the Bears have turned the corner, they have to take care of business in this game.
Yes.
Tune in for behind-the-book perspectives you won't find anywhere else.
Well, if you're looking to bet the under, you're going to get a better number.
The wise guys are certainly not going to play the favorites.
I know if it hits 7, don't blink. Maybe that's what bettors are waiting for.
Every NFL matchup, every college game that matters, the spreads, the stats, and the smart money plays.
It's your way to bet against both teams.
Get your winning edge with Football Frenzy, streaming on YouTube every Friday at noon Pacific.
Looking to bet smarter? Get sports betting insight and winning picks straight from the South Point Hotel and Casino.
I think we're going to get goals from both sides here. Give me over 5.5.
That is also one of my favorite plays of the weekend is the Colts -3 on the road.
So you're getting plus 130 here.
I mean, how can you go against Tusky?
Exactly.
Join Sports by the Book at 10 a.m. Pacific and bet your winning edge.
Hello, everybody, and welcome in another episode of Sports by the Book. You know where to find us, South Point Hotel and Casino, live from the South Point studio. I'm Alex White. Happy to be here with you. A lot to get to in the world of sports from this past weekend. A lot to break down with the NFL. And then tonight, of course, Week 15 finale, the Dolphins and the Steelers. We'll break that one down, tell you if there are any sides, totals, or prop bets that we like in that game. Also, 5 hockey games on the board. Looking forward to talking about that. Some blockbuster trades happened over the weekend in case you missed them on the ice. So should stir some things up. Getting pretty interesting now. Making our way about 1/3, maybe halfway through the season there. Also some NBA and college basketball. We'll see if there's anything on the board that we like there. Again, I'm Alex White. Chris Andrews joins us in 30 minutes. And as always, producer and host, wears many hats, Ryan McCormick joins me now to break down and kind of recap the weekend, Ryan. And yesterday, besides the injuries, because you hate to see that, especially with some big stars, But a pretty good day in football for a Week 15 Sunday in the National Football League.
Yeah, if you managed to fill out a reverse teaser card, there were 10 winning legs yesterday. 5 favorites, adding more to the being a favorite, and 5 underdogs, kind of reversing things there. So Texans minus 16.5, Eagles 17.5, Jags 18.5, Bears 14.5, Ravens minus 9.5, Chargers minus 2.5, Commanders 4.5, Colts 7.5 plus 7.5 there with the Colts getting a touchdown. Rare instance there, getting plus points on this reverse teaser card. And then the Broncos minus 4.5, and the Vikings getting it done on Sunday Night Football minus 1.5. If you manage to pick 7 for 7, 2,000 to 1 there on the reverse teaser card here at the South Point. Again, for me, betting wise, my teaser did not work out. The Bengals did not contribute, but the Bears and Broncos got it done, and we'll be looking for the Dolphins tonight to get it done, to get some units back.
Hey, I'm right there with you. Good weekend with sides, but totals, man, they really crushed me. I thought we were going to see a lot more unders because a lot of overs the weekend before, but it kind of continued. And let's start right there again, Ryan, with those double-digit favorites. 5-0 straight up, covering the spread, though. We did have Phillip Rivers covering that one, but pretty impressive, right? 4 of those double-digit favorites covering.
Yeah. Easily getting it done. Were the Niners, Jags, blowing out the, tons of favorites getting it done. And then the Colts, really no sweat there, getting the points there. Almost win that game outright, and thanks to a 56-yard game-winning field goal, Seahawks were able to get the win.
And we're going to talk about it with Chris Andrews, because typically in the NFL, it's like take the points. But I feel like right now, I don't remember having a gap this big from the top 5 to the bottom 5, right? There are just a few teams that are just pretty brutal right now in the NFL and definitely need that restart that we'll see. Now it's starting to really, the talk is about the draft, right? And what spot everybody's going to fall in. Pretty crucial for some of those teams that are below. I'm looking through these right now, but yeah, I couldn't even really help you out because with the Jaguars and the Jets on who they had played. But we'll talk about it more. We'll break it down with Chris Andrews. Here we go. And I'm very curious because we got some big games coming up this week for Week 16. Very meaningful ones. I said it good on sides. Besides, the Panthers ended up losing too. They did not take advantage with Tampa Bay losing on Thursday to the Falcons. So that still remains very intriguing who's going to take that division. And then, of course, the Rams and the Seahawks is Thursday. So a lot of good games. And then Micah Parsons goes down. So we'll see what happens with that division. The Bears jump again. NFC is just crazy, right? 1 win for the Bears. They move back all the way up. So it's interesting now.
Yeah, we have at least one team eliminated in all 8 divisions in the National Football League, some divisions with 2. And the big surprise is we have the Kansas City Chiefs not participating in the playoffs for the first time since 2014. They also do manage to lose Patrick Mahomes to a torn ACL, so we'll not see him for the remainder of this year, and we'll see if we'll get to see him to start next year. But tough news there for Chiefs fans.
I feel for him because the 1 year, and maybe he's kind of already accepted it, that they probably weren't going to be in the postseason, which I know it's a privilege, but year after year playing deep into the playoffs, that's a lot of extra football. So this year kind of probably accepted the fact that they wouldn't be, and then he's got to rehab an ACL throughout all of that. So I do feel for him in regards to that, but no Chiefs, no Bengals. Will be interesting to see from that side. Denver Broncos clinch their spot, and the Rams from the NFC side. So continue to look pretty dominating there. But shall we go to tonight's game? Because it is an important one now for the Steelers with the Ravens. Pretty impressive shutout win. We all said we didn't trust Baltimore right now. And it still looked a little funky offensively, but their defense stepped up big. For them to hold Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase to just 0 points and have a shutout win. Now they are 7-7 with a loss tonight for the Steelers. They would both be tied at 7-7, so still fighting for that division. The Dolphins, on the other side, they come into this winning 4 in a row, 5 of their last 6. Steelers 3-3 in their last 6. So we've talked about it a lot, up and down for this Pittsburgh team. What are you expecting? You like anything right off the bat?
Well, first, before I share my thoughts, we did want your guys' thoughts, our viewers' thoughts with the poll today. Going 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to need 4 for some of these. Which Monday Night Football prop? Excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which Monday Night Football prop are you going for? That was what we went with. Dolphins touchdown scored under 1.5. So there's your 1, getting plus 180. Tua Tagovailoa touchdown passes over. There's your 2, getting plus 160. Steelers touchdown scored over 2.5. There's your 3, plus 110 here at the South Point. And Jalen Waddle receptions under 4.5. There's your 4, plus 105 here at the South Point. So go ahead and let us know your thoughts in the poll. If you comment what your answer was, we'll give you a shout out. And I do want to give a special shout out to Attila. Not only did he let us know that his moneyline parlays hit this weekend, but he also left a gift for me this weekend, a Knights Aviators collaborative jersey. So Attila, thank you. Really appreciate it. Really cool. Thank you for coming down. And for everybody that does come down to the South Point, says hi to Chris and Vinny. We all enjoy it. We all appreciate that you guys are here watching us. So yeah, they're there.
Those were quite hard to get from the Aviators. There was a line out the door. So for those of us who work there, they did not give them to the employees. So that was very nice. Attila, who is a season ticket holder, grabbed a couple, and I did get one as well. So yes, thank you to Attila for that and for constantly supporting us. We do appreciate it. Great hit with the money lines yesterday, but going back to tonight, it's a tough game to handicap. If you look at Miami throughout the year, 21st in scoring, just 21.6 points per game. Pittsburgh, 23.7. Miami's the better defense, 15th in scoring defense to Pittsburgh's 20th. And really, it's the yards they're giving up, 28th in the league in opponent yards per game. Looking at it, though, they are better against the run, 21st against the run, and Miami does struggle a little bit there. But Pittsburgh's got the injuries, too, right? I mean, it was pretty surprising to see T.J. Watt and that story happen over the weekend, so he will be unavailable. Warren is questionable, so I don't know. There's a lot to unpack here. I wasn't all for the Dolphins going into the weekend, but now today I think that 3.5 is a good number. I think the Dolphins have a shot definitely to win this game outright.
Yeah, we opened 3.5, went down to 3, up to 3.5, down to 3, up to 3.5, down to 3, and are now back to the 3.5. So it's been a good old-fashioned toggler. It's been a take of the 3.5 and a lay of the 3. You mentioned Jalen Warren. He is announced questionable this morning as he has an illness similar to one of the Bears players this weekend. This total, open 42, down to 41.5, back to 42, and now up to 42.5. So expecting some offense from a Dolphins team that has struggled in the cold recently, but a video did surface of them practicing in the snow yesterday. Guys going no sleeves, going in shorts, not allowing themselves to fear the cold in this game, getting used to what they'll have to go through tonight. So I did say it on Football Frenzy that I like the Dolphins in this one, getting a better price now, plus 150 on the money line as we continue to move that way. So if you don't want to take the 150, just wait. You might get up to 160 at some point. But I do like the Dolphins here.
See, this is why we're talking about this game now. We're going to give that a nice sports by the book stamp of approval here, liking the Dolphins. But we're talking about it before our boss comes in, who is from Pittsburgh, loves his Steelers, but he knows too. It's been a pretty up and down year for them with Aaron Rodgers, and we'll see. I mean, this is a big one for them, but the Dolphins as well. And as I mentioned, they're playing very good, 4 in a row, and they did go to MetLife last week in the cold. So I think that's kind of a monkey off their back, right? Got it done, as you said, continued to practice in the cold. Trying to prove people wrong that this Miami team can also play in the cold as well. But we'll see. I need a low-scoring game here, Ryan. I don't talk about the contest a lot, but I am in the Circa Invitational. Starts with 25 handicappers. 2 are eliminated every week. Starting week 8, we're down to 13. And I am pretty close to the chopping block now. So I could really use a win here to go 3-4 for the weekend, and I have under 42.5. So
okay,
give me a low-scoring game here and points at a premium, I hope. So let's see if those standalone Matt Neverett's favorite unders
Yeah.
and field goals over. But I don't know. Looking at their defensive numbers again, it worries me a little bit that we might get some points from both sides.
The thing that I wanted to point out in this one is that we do have a bit of revenge here for some players in this one. We did have a trade go down in this summer in which Micah Fitzpatrick goes back to the Dolphins from the Steelers. Jalen Ramsey goes from the Dolphins to the Steelers along with Jonnu Smith. So, Drew Dog, if we can go to Tua Tagovailoa's quarterback passing props first. It is a pick 'em here at the South Point for him to throw an interception. I do think he does so, and I do think Jalen Ramsey is the one to get it. And then if we can also go over to anytime touchdowns, it is pretty difficult to predict the touchdown, which tight end will get the touchdown for the Steelers offense, as they have Pat Fryermuth, Jonnu Smith, and Darnell Washington, a Las Vegas kid who went to Desert Pines. So selfishly, I'll be rooting for Darnell Washington to find the end zone. But I do think, granted, also take into account that Jonnu Smith's kind of fallen out of Aaron Rodgers' love the last couple of weeks with the way things have struggled. So Pat and Darnell have gotten a little bit more love, but I think you'll get a little bit more effort from Jonnu this week going against the team that traded him. So just to keep that in mind, not necessarily great prices. 4-1 for Darnell, 425 on Jonnu, and 475 for Pat Fryermuth.
Fantastic point, because we do know that the Steelers do love their tight ends, and I like Jonnu Smith. I definitely do. Arthur Smith's guy. That is why they made the trade, I believe, and got him over there. So we did see the connection with him and Aaron Rodgers early, but you're right, has kind of dropped off a little bit. But I would take a shot there with Jonnu Smith plus 425 to get in the end zone. But again, I'm rooting for the defense to really stand up here. So I do not hate that interception as well, especially with the colds and the conditions and how important this game really is to both these teams.
And another thing, and we have Anthony in the chat letting us know that the Dolphins suck in cold weather, which, yeah, we know. Tua Tagovailoa has not thrown for over 200 passing yards since October, so his passing yardage is at 190. Would not confidently take the over. I think it's going to be more of a Devon Achane kind of ground and pound game, and Mike McDaniel is able to scheme things open. So, yeah, I think the Dolphins will be able to get things done on the ground, kind of control the clock, and ultimately end up winning this game. At least covering the 3.5.
I'm with you there. I do think it'll be run heavy, especially with how good Achane has been. So, I mean, 21st against the run, that's nothing. That's not great. They still will have their opportunity. 4.4 yards per rush is their average that they're giving up for opponents, but I think we could see some success here between those two. So we did get to our quarterback props, and we got to our anytime touchdown. Did we touch on Aaron Rodgers?
We did not.
Okay, you want to go there?
Sure. His numbers vary a little bit on DraftKings to South Point. We got 210 yards here at the South Point and 219 over on DraftKings. It's really the biggest difference that we've had all year in passing yardage. So, well, I guess it was the same thing with 190 to 208, but the attempts pretty similar, completions pretty similar. So, yeah, I can't really play anything confidently with Aaron Rodgers in this offense right now. So, no real looks there.
I mean, what was your overall thoughts? Sorry, I'm kind of switching, but with Phillip Rivers yesterday, I was just going to say, thinking about last Thursday with Kirk Cousins stepping up, right, in these big moments, I'm curious if we could get a little bit of that from Aaron Rodgers. I don't know any trends or how he has done in the last few years from moving on, or since moving on from Green Bay, when the Jets are now Pittsburgh in these primetime games, but interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have any trends or anything pertaining to Rodgers, and just kind of the difference in my mind from Kirk Cousins on Thursday, in my mind, was a why not for Kirk. For Phillip Rivers, again, a why not. And getting to see him kind of do his thing. He runs the offense. His high school team that he coaches runs that offense, which is exactly why they brought him back in the building. He knows the players. He played with them 5 years ago. So Phillip Rivers was a bit of a different. Phillip and Kirk, I think, were in a different area. To Rodgers, here, it's just been a little bit of drama, and that's all Aaron Rodgers' career has been, is drama. So, yeah, I mean, Aaron Rodgers loves to show people that talk down about him the middle finger, but I can't confidently make a play with where the numbers are.
To put a bow on that, no pressure for Kirk Cousins going into that game against Tampa Bay. They were already eliminated. They're just playing, right, just to show that they still have got it. There's still a lot of pressure on both of these teams coming into this one. So might play a little bit tight, might be trying to avoid making mistakes, right? Don't want to lose the game for their team. So I think that's a fair point there with him going into this one. All right, let's move to hockey because we've got about 10 more minutes before Chris Andrews joins us. But Ryan, I think it happened Thursday. It might have been actually why we were on air for our show or right after, but started with the goalie news. A big trade for Edmonton to go out and trade Stuart Skinner for Tristan Jarry with Pittsburgh. Thoughts on that? Because we haven't really gotten a chance to talk about it.
It was obviously something that was going to happen for the Oilers organization. Stuart Skinner fell out of love with the fan base, with the organization, or the vice versa. They fell out of love with him, and the new move needed to be made. He needed to change of scenery, and acquiring Tristan Jarry is a good addition. I do think they're on the same goalie plane. I do think they're very similar goalies and are very capable goalies. It was just a matter of Stuart Skinner getting out of his head and getting a change of scenery. So I don't know if it necessarily changes a whole lot in my mind for how these rosters are going to go. Again, the Oilers they're fully invested in Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. And if they can't win a cup with those two guys, they're going to need a rebuild. And it's simple as that in my mind.
I agree. And I do think they are very similar, definitely, the two goalies. My thought process was kind of just maybe Tristan Jarry playing with all those guys in front of him, right? Maybe it elevates his level and you don't really know. But, we've seen it with him in the past when the Penguins had a little bit of a younger roster, right? But it should be interesting. How about the other one, Quinn Hughes? That makes Minnesota a lot stronger.
Yeah. Minnesota buying and realizing that they're kind of in the middle and get a very key, one of the best defensemen in the National Hockey League in Quinn Hughes, and Vancouver recognizing that it is time to start over, tear things down and begin their rebuild. Both moves needed to be made for their organizations, and I don't think it does anything for either one this year, but going forward, it helps for their futures.
I don't know. I'm intrigued with Minnesota. We've talked about their goalie play, right? And it's been outstanding.
Sure.
It kind of made Gustafsson step up, but getting Wallstead and how well he has played, right? So that they could have a shot there. And we've seen them go on stretches, be pretty good, and then in the postseason, it just seems like they're always really banged up, and they always have a lot of key injuries at the time when they need all their guys the most. So maybe this does help them, and they can. Pretty interesting. Both of them won yesterday, Vancouver and Minnesota. Minnesota, a big 6-2 win over Boston, and then Vancouver won 2-1 in New Jersey. Now, that could just be a fallen star theory where everybody else steps up, but I believe someone that they even traded had a goal too in that one. So I don't know if it is a addition by subtraction for Vancouver, and just the fact that they've already been kind of trading, right, and selling, and we've seen that from them. So I don't know, maybe just other guys stepping up, and that's short term, I would imagine. But let's go into the 5 games tonight. There are some intriguing ones. There are a couple plays that I do really like. The first one should be a really good Florida battle. As we know, these two do not like each other with Florida and Tampa Bay. I don't necessarily have a play in this one, but I am intrigued. And so far, Tampa Bay has taken 2 of 3 in this series for the regular season.
Yeah, going in, when we were doing our show prep, I had a fun, just if you're going in rotation number, every other game was priced -130, +110, and then the other ones were right around a pick 'em, 115, 105, and then the other one is a pick 'em. So, but that has moved off the number. We are now at 120 and even here in this Panthers Lightning game. I would have liked to get the 110. I do think the Panthers, this is going to be a very hard fought game. The Lightning coming home off of a road trip, losing their last two out. The Panthers in the middle of a road trip. Actually, this is the last of a road trip, coming off of a 4-0 shutout win in Dallas. When you shut out a team, you kind of maybe fall flat. You think that you're doing things correctly, and then the team that you're going in against is ready to punch you in the mouth. And I do think Tampa is going to be ready to punch him in the mouth with they taking the losses they have the last couple of nights. But I do think Tampa is struggling offensively, and Florida has a little bit more going right now. I do think it will be a very tight game, but I would have liked to get the 110. Now that we're at even, I don't know if I'm going to play it.
The other thing that crossed my mind is, even though Tampa's been the better team for majority of the year, but you're right, starting to struggle. I think another week, if not more, Vasilevsky is on the IR and will not have him back. So maybe that is part of it just mentally for this team. But Florida's definitely the more desperate team right now. Outside looking into the playoffs, just 34 points. So a lot to play for still in front of them. So maybe more desperate team. I'm with you. It would only be Panthers for me. I would like to take the under, but with Johansson, I mean, his numbers are decent. He does have over 900 save percentage, just a 904, but still. So, I mean, just how we know how these games go, and they are typically tighter, but 2 of the 3 have gone over so far this year with a total of 7 goals. Lightning won the last one 5-2. Panthers shut him out the game before that, and then a nice or those were the early ones. I'm sorry. The last one we saw in November was a 3-1 win from Tampa Bay. So maybe one like that. You're getting a 6 there, but I think Panthers, if you can get a good plus price, is probably the best way to play that.
All right. Well, we'll go to New York, to Madison Square Garden, where the Ducks are on the road taking on the Rangers. This one is a minus 115 for the Rangers, 105 for the Ducks. Total is at 6 with 115 to the over.
I've had to bump up my Ducks number finally, but still I have a play on the Rangers here at home, minus 115. I think that's the right side. They're 6-2-2 in their last 10 games. The Ducks 5-5. 2 more games on this road trip. They are coming into this on back-to-back losses. So I know that they are going to be playing with some intensity, right, to try and at least leave this road trip 500. But I like the Rangers in this spot with Shesterkin, and I know they've struggled at home, but I think I'm going to still take a shot here with New York. So Rangers minus 115 for me. I would lean to the under too, even though the Ducks have been such a high-scoring team. We've kind of seen them struggle offensively as of late, and when you have somebody like Igor in the net, I do think they're going to struggle again here tonight. So Rangers and a lean to the under. Anything for you in that one?
This is the first of a back-to-back for both of these teams. The Ducks go to Columbus tomorrow night, and then the Rangers host the Canucks tomorrow night. You had mentioned that the Ducks had lost both games going into this one. I would like to mention that the Rangers have gone into overtime in 4 straight home games. So you mentioned the intensity coming from the Ducks and the way the hockey's being played in Madison Square Garden, with the Rangers struggling to begin the year and now kind of needing to fight to get in these games. This one will be a very physical game between these two teams. So I ultimately think it's priced correctly. I can't really play the Ducks having to lay a vig. So this one will be a stay off for me.
I wonder if there's a pretty good overtime price.
Could be.
Because, I mean, why have we not been betting the Golden Knights overtime every single game? And I could see this one, again, kind of lower scoring, maybe 2-2, and have to go into overtime between these two. But when it's priced like that, too, pretty much just a pick 'em, pretty evenly matched there.
I'm going to try and find the overtime price real quick.
Okay. As we do that, I will move to the next game because we do have Ottawa and Winnipeg here. Connor Hellebuck is back for the Jets. He has played 1 game since coming back, and he was outstanding. Gave up just 1 goal to the Capitals. So had 24 saves on 25 shots on goal. Can he do that again here in this one? My numbers say it is an overplay. Look at the two goalies there, though, Olmark and Hellebuck, two of my favorites. But I do think that Jets are going to be able to score, and they already have started to. Again, since getting Connor back, I mean, to put 5 on Washington, I think is pretty impressive. So I think I like the Jets team total over even more than the full game, but I might go with over 6. I have this game at 6.5. And I know my Winnipeg number is still a little bit off, a little bit higher without having Connor Hellebuck for the last month, if not longer. But they can score, and so can Ottawa. So it's a lean to the over 6, and I'll have to look up the Jets team total as well.
$3 for overtime in the last Ducks versus Rangers game here tonight. So, but for this one, Senators and Jets. Yeah, the Senators are struggling. Also in the middle of a road trip.
3-7 in their last 10. So that is, you're right.
Yeah, and the Jets are in the midst of a homestand, playing 4 straight games at home. Their 5th in the last 10 days. I do think the Jets are going to be comfortable. So it might be a look at the puck line, thinking that the offensive struggles continue for the Senators. But again, yeah, not a confident play here.
Drew Dog, do we have the team totals for these?
We do not.
Okay, I'll have to check that too. But so you're saying puck line potentially with Winnipeg here, minus 1.5 plus 195. That is kind of on the same wavelength as my Jets team total over. So I'm with you though. That's a lean that direction. 2 more on the board. We just saw this matchup. Remember, we had talked about it. Nashville and St. Louis.
Yeah, and it was a 7-2 win for the Preds. So this one is a pick'em price, 110 both ways. Total is at 6 with a 120 to the under.
I would have no problem going with the Blues here. I know it's kind of pick your poison, right? With these two, we talked about it. Both of them giving up a ton of goals, struggling to score. Their stats are terrible. Looking at St. Louis, 30th in goals per game. Nashville, 26th. Nashville tied for 31st with St. Louis, giving up goals per game. So we were trying to figure out which way it was going to go. Went to the over. I'm going to go with the under here. I think when they play this closely, then it kind of reverts the other way. So December 11th was their last matchup. It was in Nashville. They got the win. It was very high scoring, kind of like the Blues, and I like an under. So I'm going to go under 6 here at minus 120. And I think that's my last play, but we definitely have to talk about this Western Conference matchup coming up here between the Kings and the Stars.
Yeah, and you are getting plus 110 for the Kings on the road in Dallas. Minus 130 are the Stars. Total is 5.5 with minus 130 to the under.
Jeez, and it is not Ottinger, and that is what I saw last night. But now, as of today, it is Casey DeSmith going, so I cannot go with an under here, even though his numbers are really good too. 920 save percentage on the year, and a 916 for Darcy Kemper on the other side. What do you think? Are you leaning to taking the plus price with the Kings, or is this a stay away?
Yeah, it will be taking a chance on the Kings here, getting plus 110. I do like the under in this game, but I don't want to lay minus 130.
Yeah.
So, yeah, finding a way to play this game. The struggles with the Stars recently, getting shut out in their last, you should get a much better effort. But with how the Kings play defense, this game, yeah, minus 130 to the under is absolutely right. So taking a chance with the Kings here on the road.
Very telling, right? Both of them coming into this one on a two-loss streak here. So I bet you it's juiced even that first period going under 1.5. Yeah. But if not, check your books and see if you could get a good price there. I like under 1.5 in that.
They did play earlier this year in Dallas. They'll have another meeting later in the year in Los Angeles. But it was a overtime game that ended 3-2 with the Kings winning. So if that happens again, we would be winners on both sides.
There we go. All right. Well, hardwood, I didn't really find anything college basketball-wise. I do have some numbers, but not a lot of differences in them, and nothing in the NBA. I'm assuming you as well. But we do have an NBA Cup championship tomorrow night.
Yeah, we do. It is here in Las Vegas. It is the San Antonio Spurs versus the New York Knicks, which will be a very good game. Currently looking at 2.5 for the Knicks, favored against the Spurs. Total is 227 in the market, 228 in some spots as well. But yeah, that'll be a good one tomorrow night. We have 5 in action tonight. Only one home underdog, and that is the Utah Jazz against the Dallas Mavericks.
All right. And just for everybody who is watching us live, please jump in with the poll. After our break, we will have a trivia question for you on the ticker, brought to you by City Light Shine. So jump in if you do know the correct answer for that as well. And then later today or tomorrow, we will have a pre-recorded show coming out. So make sure and look out for that on our YouTube channel, Sports by the Book. We will be going over round 1 of the college football playoffs. We've got 4 matchups to talk about with myself, Chris Andrews, and Chris Felica. The Bear will be joining us for that special. So make sure you look out for that. We're looking forward to recording that right after this show. But let's take a quick break. When we get back, Chris Andrews, Sportsbook Director here at the South Point, joins us to break down Week 15 in the NFL and what that means moving forward for the playoffs. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
South Point is also proud to provide a variety of relaxing amenities for the guests who want to be pampered. Soak up the sun and let your stress melt away in our lagoon-style paradise swimming pool. A relaxing getaway where you can bask in the desert sun and enjoy seasonal food and bar service poolside. And if you really want to escape, come to Spa Costa del Sur. From couple suites to a co-ed wet area, our spa caters to business and leisure travelers who want to unwind and elevate their senses. A visit to one of our spa's steam, sauna, or whirlpool treatment rooms will leave any guest feeling like they can take on the world.
Heading to Las Vegas to catch the action at Allegiant Stadium? Skip the traffic and the sky-high room rates of the Strip. Book your stay at the South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa. The South Point is located just 7 miles away from the stadium, and it's a quick trip up the freeway, making it an affordable rideshare or taxi ride. And don't worry about getting here when you land in Vegas. We offer a convenient airport shuttle to get your getaway off to a stress-free start. Shuttles are also available on Raider game days for a small fee. So whether you're rooting for your team or seeing your favorite band in concert at Allegiant Stadium, South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa is your ticket to all the excitement. Are you ready to lock in your bets and cash in on the games this weekend? Get weekly football winners from Alex White, Chris Andrews, and Vinny Malulo.
I did take the dog 3.5.
I'm going to stay with the culture. That's definitely going to be one of my plays.
If the Bears have turned the corner, they have to take care of business in this game.
Yes.
Tune in for behind-the-book perspectives you won't find anywhere else.
Well, if you're looking to bet the under, you're going to get a better number.
The wise guys are certainly not going to play the favorites.
I know if it hits 7, don't blink. Maybe that's what bettors are waiting for.
Every NFL matchup, every college game that matters, the spreads, the stats, and the smart money plays.
It's your way to bet against both teams.
Get your winning edge with Football Frenzy, streaming on YouTube every Friday at noon Pacific.
Welcome back, everybody. Sports by the Book, live from the South Point Hotel and Casino. Alex White, Ryan McCormick here with you all week long. Remember, 5 days a week, Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m., and then Fridays are at noon for our football frenzy. Joining us now at the desk, Sportsbook Director here at the South Point, Chris Andrews. You were busy this morning and a little unexpected.
A lot of moves for next week.
Okay.
A lot of action with tonight's game. It's a 3.5 game. We got those 2.5 threes or 3.5s. Boy, we just do a ton of business.
Well, very good. But right now we are still sitting at 3.5. So
We are.
kind of leaning more towards the Steelers
Well,
money.
a guy came in and he made. I'm not going to give out numbers, but he wanted a pretty big bet. I said, well, what the hell? You might as well give it to him because as soon as we go to 3.5, we'll start getting play the other way. So just let him have it.
Okay.
So we got a lot of money on tonight's game, and at this point in time, we just want to avoid the 3.
You were saying off air before we hopped on that New Orleans Saints and Carolina Panthers were one of your bigger handles this weekend.
Yeah, again, it was the same situation. It's a lousy game, on paper, certainly. But it was a 2.5-3 game. So we had 2.5 and 3. Everybody knows at the South Point, you're going to lay 11 to 10. You're not going to get that $1.20 stuff, And they laid the 2.5. They took the 3. Laid 2.5, took the 3. And actually, we wound up kind of on the wrong side of the game for a peanut. We had so much juice on that game that, as long as it didn't come the favorite by 3, and of course came the dog by 3, as long as it didn't come the favorite by 3, we were in good shape.
So overall, let's go through some of the games yesterday,
Okay.
and I want to know how you guys did with them. The Bills, wow, what a comeback!
Yeah.
A lot of people on Twitter or X yesterday already celebrating the Patriots
At
winning
halftime?
the division. Oh yeah, there was a lot going on out there,
Yeah.
and the Bills come back. Was that a good result for you?
It was
or-
not. No, it was
because
not a
that
good
number
result.
did move, right?
Yeah,
'Cause the
no,
Bills,
we needed the Patriots, and I knew not to count our money. Believe me, I've been through this a long, long time, obviously. But I knew not to count our money. But we needed the Patriots pretty good. I was hopeful, certainly, but I knew the Buffalo was not going to die easy.
How about that Broncos and Packers game?
That was a good one.
Okay.
That was real good because a lot of money. I think we talked about it on Friday. I said, actually, those were two of the big moves from the wise guys. They like Buffalo an awful lot. They like Green Bay an awful lot. I was not personally involved in either game, but I mentioned on Friday, I really tried to get there with Green Bay. I really tried to look at that because there's a lot of numbers reflected. I could see why the wise guys would like Green Bay, but I just couldn't quite get there. I made the game pick. I thought, and I made the Buffalo game pick. I really wanted to take a look at both those games and see if I could understand why the wise guys were. I understood why, but I just couldn't follow along with them. I thought Denver Pick'em was a good number. So that game actually was really good for us.
I think a lot went back to the fact that these two teams were on 10-game win streaks, right? And yet they were underdogs at home. So
Yeah.
I think the wise guys thought the number was telling you something.
Right.
And to go with the better team there. The
Well-
Division One, though, made me like the Bills a lot more, right?
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, there's an old saying that I heard from different guys over the years. Sometimes price tells you the winner. You got a team at home on a 10-game win streak, and they're the dog.
Yeah.
Like Denver. You think, okay, that's price is telling you the winner. Well, it wasn't so. Same with New England. So it could split. Well, as a bookmaker, if we could split, we're fine, and we wound up with a good day.
Okay, I wanted you kind of just, that was a perfect transition. I brought it up to Ryan because he was looking at the 5 double-digit favorites, 4-1 against the spread. Kind of the line telling you, right,
Yeah.
how much better these teams are. Do you have a bigger gap between your top 5 or even more to your bottom 5? There's some really bad teams in the league right now.
I got a bottom 3.
Bottom 3,
That's
okay.
really, really bad. And I haven't, I've been kind of busy. I haven't had a chance to really pour through the boxes. You look at the Raiders. They're getting 75 yards on offense. And I said yards per attempt was a big key. Now, I was still like partway through the game, so I don't have the final numbers. But at one point, Kenny Pickett's yards per attempt were like 3.4 yards per attempt. That's terrible.
Yeah.
You have to throw the ball a little bit. I think Shedeur Sanders, for Cleveland, another team that got waxed. They didn't quite get shut out. Raiders got shut out. Browns put 3 on the board against Ryan's team.
They were
And again, Ryan knows it's not a great defense from the Bears, but Shedeur Sanders played like a 5th-round draft choice. And I know everybody's kind of waiting for him to be the anointed one, but I certainly don't see that. I don't have the Bengals in that category. I do have the Titans.
Yeah.
Who came close to covering. That was a bad result. I can't believe the Niners kicked that field goal at the end. I thought you just gain 1 yard and run out the clock, win by 10. It would have been beautiful. And as I said, I think on Friday's show, in NFL football, you could lose by double digits and never have a chance to win the game. And I thought this was going to be the perfect example. But they lost by, they lose by 13, I think?
They
Is
lost
that what
by
it was?
13, yeah. I think 12.5 was the number for most of the week.
All those results were bad for us, every one of those. And a couple others that were bad were some of the big favorites. The Jaguars. The Jets, I don't have quite as low as the other, but they're just a notch above. So we could probably put them in that category too. And the Jaguars are certainly playing some pretty good ball right now. And the other game that I thought, I liked was the Bengals, who got shut out. And I saw a stat this morning. Their time of possession was over 39 minutes. That's the most time of possession since I don't know when. Somebody had it, I can't remember, but in a long time for a team to get shut out. 39 minutes of ball possession and got shut out. Longest since, I don't know when, but an awful long time. But, boy, that's I dropped them pretty good, too. I mean, but I liked them going into that game. I thought that they were really going to show up. And, after Burrow's statements this past week, I thought that it would be an all-out effort. But, well, it's just a bad team.
I got to imagine the Colts was a pretty good result.
That was a good one for us, yeah.
I didn't have their defense that good.
No, I didn't either.
The Seahawks did not score a touchdown.
Well, I tell you, I'm starting to get a little worried about the Seahawks.
Yeah.
They cannot run the ball. And, listen, Sam Darnold, he seems like a good guy. I root for those guys that have been kind of passed around a little bit. But he still shows those signs of not protecting the football as well as he should, whether it's interceptions or fumbles. And if they can't run the ball, they're going to run into trouble at some point. Now, they might even win this week. They're playing the Rams. But at some point, it's going to be hard because they figure to not be the division winner. I mean, they still have a chance. But if they're not the division winner, that means they're going to be going on the road for the playoffs.
Right.
I don't see Sam Darnold having 3 clean slates to get him to the Super Bowl if they are on the road. So even though they won yesterday, I lowered them a point in my power ratings.
You're right, and I knew it was bad, but I don't remember being this bad. 2.3 yards per carry.
Is that what they got?
Yeah, 50 total rushing yards in that one. And I guess we should have known that connection with him and JSN was probably not sustainable, right? And defenses would figure that out. But when you're relying so much on that,
he is a rookie too, But I mean, he's a hell of a player. But you're right; it's hard to rely on them for that. So,
well, what about this Thursday? Huge matchup between the Seahawks and the Rams.
Yeah,
where'd you guys open, and have you seen any action yet there?
A lot of action.
Okay, a lot of opinions already.
We opened 1. We went to 2. Then we're back to 1. So, yeah, we got some action on that game.
Oh, I would have liked to get a 2 with Seattle.
I don't think you're going to get it right now.
Yeah,
I think it disappeared.
Move back. Maybe after
we got
some
no
time.
Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
I think Puka's going to be okay.
Yeah.
He came back in the game. That's a tough kid, too. He really is a tough kid. But they're going to miss Devontae Adams. I mean, and listen, Seattle's defense is pretty darn good. If you take away a primary option, I think Puka, it's hard to say who receiver 1 is in that, because I love Adams, but Puka's probably been more productive. But
it's Puka between the 20s, and then it's been Devontae Adams in the end zone.
He's got a lot of touchdowns. Yeah, so I think they'll miss him a little bit, but I don't know. I still. made the number 2.5 Rams.
Oh,
I
you did?
have great respect for this team, and I'm looking at the NFC, and I'm not sure who could beat them out of the NFC. You know, the one team I think has a chance to beat them?
The 49ers.
The
I was
49ers.
going to say that. I said the same thing yesterday, trying to figure out which one could. I'm like, might be that division matchup.
Yeah, I mean, there's other teams that are good. I mean, the Bears are good. Seattle obviously is pretty good. There's some good ones. I'm just not sure in the NFC who could beat them. I think the Niners just have to play a near perfect game.
Yes.
But I'll tell you, go look down through Brock Purdy's numbers. Brock Purdy is a really good quarterback. And some guys, dismiss him. He's a late round pick. He's got kind of that baby face and all that other stuff. But he produces, man. This kid puts up some really good numbers. And listen, it's a great organization. They've had 2 tons of injuries. I really expected them to fall apart.
Yes.
Certainly on defense. And their defense isn't great, but it's not bad either. But I thought they would. They had a chance of falling apart, but they certainly have not. That's a good organization.
Ryan, is there any chance that the Niners can find a way to steal this division? They do have 10 wins here. I know you have that graphic with their final 3.
Yeah, they don't have a head-to-head remaining with the Rams, so they would need the Rams to lose 2 of their final 3, and they would also have to win out in order to get. Well, then that would have them tied. No, that would put them 1 game above. So they need to win out. They would need the Rams to lose 2 of 3 in Seattle, in Atlanta, and then versus the Cardinals.
Okay.
Well, I could see them losing 1.
Yeah.
I can see them losing 2.
No, especially the Cardinals. Man,
they've kind of fallen apart too.
Into consideration enough their injuries, and then they just had more against
Yeah.
Houston. They're beat up.
Well, let's talk about another big team that got a lot of injuries was Green Bay yesterday.
I was going to ask about
losing
that.
Micah Parsons, but it's been starting to add up for Green Bay.
Yeah.
There's quite a few. What's the tight end's name?
Tucker Kraft.
Tucker Kraft. Yeah, I mean that was a big one a couple weeks ago. They had sort of overcome that, I'd say, at this point, but now they're just starting to add up. And once they, a lot of times, and we saw it a couple years ago, I guess last year with Detroit. Just if you're going to judge the whole season, probably the best team, but then they got hurt all at the wrong time.
Yep.
And I've seen this over the years. It's who is healthiest going into the playoffs. You miss a couple of key guys, and all of a sudden, I think it's adding up for Green Bay. They're really banged up, and they lose Micah Parsons, probably the best defensive player in the league. I mean, it might be Garrett. T.J. Watts looks like he's slipped a notch, But he's certainly. I mean, I don't know if he's the head of the class, but let's say I'm going to use an old bum Phillips saying, if he's not at the head of the class, it ain't going to take long to call roll. I can tell you that. So.
I mean, we saw this last year with this division. I remember that because week 18, right, between Minnesota and the Lions was a very meaningful game. And now here we are. We just saw the Bears fall to the Packers. They fell all the way to 7 now. With a win yesterday, Packers lost. The Bears are back to 2.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting all the way down the stretch here. Any action on that one already for the Bears and the Packers, the Saturday game?
Yeah, it's a Saturday game. I don't think we had any moves in that one. No, nothing there.
Okay. 2 Saturday games, of course, Packers, Bears, Eagles, Commanders. Ryan, did you have anything else for Chris? Just looking?
I was mainly curious about the futures numbers with the Packers to win the NFC.
What I go to 14, I think 14-1 this morning. I think I raised them pretty good because I just think. Well, I mean, first of all, like you said, they dropped down to number 7 from number 2, and just those injuries are just going to add up. And listen, they were playing some really good ball. They were playing terrific ball, but you can't outplay your personnel at some point, and they have they've had some terrible luck injury wise.
You know how we've talked about it a lot with just the NFC being kind of a step above the AFC this year. Are we overreacting a little bit when we saw an AFC team like the Broncos beat Green Bay yesterday, and they're definitely the better defensive teams? Think about Houston.
Yeah.
Think about Denver. I mean, they have their struggles offensively, but is that a team that could handle the Rams if they make it into the Super Bowl?
Okay, I was just going to say, eliminate the Rams.
Okay.
Eliminate the Rams, and then the conferences are pretty even.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to take some doing to eliminate the Rams, though. I can tell you right now. I went to 3-1 on the futures with them.
Wow.
I mean, you know, I mean, I still do okay with them. Not as good as I would like to be, but I just think it's going to be hard to beat this team. You know, I mean, they could easily lose this week, and the money's kind of showed against them this week. And you know, when you get that early play on Monday, it's a lot of wise guy play. You know, and I respect the wise guys that did come in on Seattle. You know, and I respect it. I'm not sure I agree with them. As a matter of fact, I don't agree with them, but I respect their action.
Oh, it's going to be a great game. My concern is I know you can't predict turnovers, but I could see them having a turnover problem against the Rams again here, right? So I think a lot of people are banking on the fact that they lost the turnover battle, the Seahawks, and still only lost by 3, but we don't know what's going to happen.
The Seahawks are a legit team.
Yeah.
You know, really well coached, play great defense.
Yes.
I just think that at some point in time, the lack of a good running game is going to come back and bite them.
Last team on the NFC I want to talk about is the Eagles, who did shut out
Yeah.
the Raiders, and I know there's a lot of struggles with Las Vegas
Yeah.
right now, but that's a team that did beat the Rams last year in the playoffs to
Yeah.
make it to the Super Bowl, so maybe we shouldn't be sleeping on them just yet either.
We should not be sleeping on them. You know, I think they had, I don't know, again, we'd have to see them against a much more worthy opponent, but they had Jalen Hurts under center a lot more this last week. You know, Jalen Hurts is best when he has play action working for him.
Yes.
Their running game is kind of certainly fallen off way a ton from last year. And, you know, maybe Saquon is a little beat up. Maybe he's lost a step. Maybe Lane Johnson being out has been a big key. I think that actually has been. But nonetheless, I think they still have to line him up under center a lot more, which they did, and at least have the threat of a running game going, because I think Jalen is best when he's running play action. So.
Well, Chris, you had mentioned needing to see him against a worthy opponent. We will not get that the remainder of the regular season. Their next worthy opponent would be in the first round of the playoffs, as they have the Commanders twice and the Giants in the middle. So
you're right.
The Eagles
0 for 3 on worthy opponents.
They're easy to close the year.
By the way, I lowered the Giants a lot too. Jeez, you know. I like them. Yeah, maybe I overreact too, because I like them. That was one of my picks. Boy, they were never in that game.
They're so poorly coached.
Well, that's the thing. As I'm watching it, you kind of forget, right, that they do just have a interim coach there. So
yeah,
that's asking a lot.
Yeah, I don't have them quite as low as those other ones, but they're pretty darn low.
So is this okay? I just said let's not sleep on the Eagles. Now you brought up their final 3. They're going to look great the last 3 weeks, and then everybody's going to be picking them to win the NFC. So maybe we remember this moment right now.
Yeah. But by the way, they're a 6-point favorite this week, and I made the number 8.
Yeah.
You know, I think the 6 is a little cheap.
Oh, I'm actually lower.
Did you? Okay.
But remember,
That's what makes
had the
gambling, honey. Don't worry about it. Yeah, we always got to do that.
The Giants, so.
I mixed that up. They do have the Bills.
Oh, good.
In the sandwich spot, so that would be a worthy opponent. Yeah.
Good. Okay. So we'll get to see them against Buffalo in Buffalo.
Who's that?
A lot there.
The Eagles.
The Eagles.
Okay.
Washington Bills, Washington. Yeah. So.
Okay.
Well, that's it for us for today. Chris, if you don't mind, we're just going to show our whiteboard plays.
Okay, sure.
Because then we're going to sign off, say goodbye to everybody for today, and then we're going to do our pre-recording with Chris Felica. Looking forward to it. So, first, Ryan, though, do you want to go through the poll and the ticker trivia?
Yeah. We'll go ticker trivia first. Presented by City Light Shine, available at Lee's Discount Liquor, Total Wine, and here at the South Point Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. There is a Legends Edition bottle for free here at the South Point if you earn it in place. So on this date in sports history, December 15th, 1973, it was a pony question for you guys today. Thoroughbred horse racing jockey Sandy Hawley became the first jockey to win 500 races in a calendar year with a win at Laurel Racecourse in Maryland. How many other thoroughbred jockeys have achieved this feat to date? We did have JR in the chat let us know 4, or say 4, and that is the total number. So the answer of other jockeys would be 3. In addition to Holly, only 3 other thoroughbred jockeys have reached the 500 win mark in a single calendar year. Chris McCarron won 546 races. The year after Holly did it, 73 and 74. I'm not even going to guess on Kent's last name, setting the
DeSormo.
Set the current annual record with a staggering almost 600 race wins in 1989, 598 of them. And the most recent jockey to reach that 500 win mark was Edgar Prado, winning 536 races back in 1997.
Very good.
And then our poll results for you guys today involving tonight's Monday Night Football game between the Miami Dolphins and Pittsburgh Steelers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which Monday Night Football prop are you going for? All odds available via the South Point. Total touchdowns scored by the Dolphins under 1.5. There's your 1 plus 180. Tua Tagovailoa touchdown passes over 1.5. There's your 2, getting plus 160. Steelers touchdown scored over 3.5. There's your 3, or over 2.5. Excuse me. There's your 3.
3.5.
Plus 110. And Jalen Waddle receptions under 4.5. There's your 4 plus 105 here at the South Point. And it was a photo finish as we sat the majority of the episode near tied. We go with Tua touchdown passes over 1.5, with 30% of our viewers taking plus 160, with Tua getting at least 2 touchdown passes tonight.
I am curious what he did last week against the Jets. Okay, he had 1 and a lot on the ground. 3 rushing touchdowns for them last week.
They're running the ball really well.
Yeah. Wow, by 3 different players too. So good luck to the chat. They're going for over 1.5 for Tua tonight. I went with Waddle actually under that 4.5 on my vote. But all right. Thank you, Ryan, for going through that. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. If you are watching live and you are in the chat, if not, please subscribe. Remember, we are trying to hit a goal by the end of the year. 16 days to do it. All right, but let's go to our whiteboard plays. I've got 3 of them. And I did see Attila, thank you. He said he is on the opposite. He's going with the over tonight. I'm on the under. We'll see what happens. I do not love mine by any means. I used it for one of my contest picks, so I'm stuck with it. I am taking the 3.5 with the Dolphins tonight, though. I do think that this will be a tighter game with the Dolphins and the Steelers, meaningful for both of them for their playoff hopes. I'm going with the Rangers at home minus 115 against the Ducks. I like the goalie matchup here with Shesterkin, and the Ducks kind of sliding as of late. I'm going Preds and Blues under 6. Best of luck to us here, Chris. Last time they played each other, it was a 7-2 final, but it was just 4 days ago. So I'm kind of going with the reverse here. It's going to be more of a defensive battle on the ice for those two. Ryan, what do you got for us tonight?
I do like the Kings on the money line in Dallas against the Stars in the NHL. And then, Chris, do you anticipate going any higher than plus 150 on the Dolphins money line tonight?
I don't, but I did have somebody lay the $1.70.
Okay.
I didn't move it because I didn't see it any higher. And I don't know. I just, so maybe.
Okay.
You're getting a firm maybe. I know like that.
I'll take the 150 here with the Dolphins tonight.
All right, he's going with Miami. Win it outright. That would be their 5th straight win that they are trying to get done tonight. All right, we got to get out of here. We don't want to keep the bear waiting too long. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Remember, please subscribe. We'll be back tomorrow live, 10 a.m., as we always are. So thank you to the crew. Thank you for getting us all of our poll questions and our trivia and all of that fun stuff for everybody to be involved. We like to have you guys active with us in our live show. So for Chris Andrews, for Ryan McCormick, I'm Alex White. Thank you all for watching. We'll be back tomorrow, 10 a.m. here at the South Point. You are watching Sports by the Book.